Facebook, hello YouTube, hello Insta, whichever platform I'm gonna put this up on. Alright, so I've been doing some food reviews, and today we're gonna do another review, but it's gonna be a little different. This is gonna be a product review, and what we're gonna do from beginning to end is we're gonna try to we're gonna evaluate the product according to its function, its form, and form takes up size, color, all that. Quality, the material it's made of in this case, and durability, all that. So we're going to touch on 3 or 4 attributes. It depends from product to product, but today we're going to talk about function. Definitely needs to be there, because first of all, what are you going to use it for? How effective is it? And then we're going to talk about, well, depending on the product, once again, the form and the color or the taste or whatever it is. And then we're going to try to compare it with something else on the market which is similar to it. How does it compete with other products of the same category, same range, or how does it... Alright, you will understand what I'm talking about when I do it. The next thing we're going to do after all that is we're going to give it a score out of 10. 5 being pretty good, actually, because as you know, if you know me, you know that average is actually a pretty high standard for me. If I don't like it, it's gonna get... well, it doesn't go below 2. Because there's always going to be something worse than the worst thing that we already know. And if it reaches a high score above average, that is pretty good, because I'm always going to leave space for something that we haven't already. It's never going to get 10 out of 10 or 0 out of 10. We're always going to pack it up to the middle. Just explaining the scoring system for the first video. And today we're also going to try to give this a slogan. If you're trying to sell this, then what are you gonna... So we're gonna try to compact everything that we've done in this video into 10 words or less. That's basically how, that's what I do in my classes. I usually say, let's take a paragraph, let's take a bit of text and then condense it to its essence. All right, so the slogan is gonna be the punchline of this video. All right, the product that we're gonna test today is called Bait or Bide, whatever. It's got it on the silver part as well. I don't know if it's clear to see, but just take my word for it. It's called B-A-I-D-E, Bait or Bide. We don't really know how it's pronounced. It is a lighter. That is pretty obvious. So first of all, we're gonna test it out. We're gonna see how well it works. How good is the flame? How does it affect the flavor and all that? Lights are pretty good, and shout out to Dunhill, the actual sponsor of this video. I'm just kidding, there is no sponsor of this video. But alright, so a lighter is something that is supplementary in its purpose. It actually, I mean, you use it to light something up, and in most cases it's a cigarette or something. So it actually does affect, so when we're evaluating this for its purpose or function, a lot of it is actually dependent on how it affects the cigarette, how it affects the flavor of the cigarette, because sometimes the lighter fluid is going to change the flavor slightly. Yeah, I'm really bad at doing that on my own. I got hand-eye coordination issues, so don't judge the product based on my ability. But yeah, so that's function. It's pretty damn good. And we're going to compare this to something that's already existing. So we're going to take these two things and we're going to be like, all right, so this might be a little more expensive, but high cost doesn't necessarily mean bad, because You usually pay extra for quality. All right. So what's the problem with the lighters that you have already? Well, they break. As you can see, I got one that's not. So lighters on the market. I shouldn't have exposed the brand, I guess, to condemn the other one, but I think this one's a little more durable because it's made of like tougher material, and I think it holds more lighter fluid. It is not reusable, which is a minus, but at the same time, it compensates for the lack of reusability by offering more, because this has done a great service. This has pushed us on for more than a month now. This is actually my dad's lighter, so it's not my own. But we've been using it for more than a month, I guess. So pretty long lasting and pretty tough. Holds a lot of fluid that's long lasting and lights up pretty well. So that's function. Now we get to the form. Form is, once again, the size would count, but we've already talked about the size. The next thing that we have to talk about in the form is color. So I've seen a couple of lighters of this brand, and most of them, they use like pastel colors, hence the t-shirt as well. I think color is very subjective. Cliche, I know, but there are objective things about color. And I believe that the design of this lighter is this way for a reason. Now, you gotta realize when it comes to smoking, all right, so audience, who are you gonna target, right? The color could be off-putting for some users, but at the same time, excuse me, yeah, the color could be off-putting for some people because it's more pastel, and some lighters are a little more flamboyant than others, but at the same time they're a lighter, so they're allowed to be whatever color they want. It's just a lighter. Now, once again, as I said, it depends on whether you want to expand your audience, and your audience is there's a lot of factors that I think go into your target audience, and it's usually connected to regional rules, customs, traditions, geography, as well as the people who live there. So some people might not have a problem with the color at all. Some people might not prefer it, some people might prefer it. So the slogan is going to target that particular effect, based on the color. Would you pick this if you're a guy? Would you pick this if you're a lady? Would it matter at all what your gender is? Because, it's kind of stupid to genderize a lighter. But at the same time, it has been done in the past. It actually has. So we're going to address that. So far, we've talked about the function, and then we've talked about the form, the color being the major portion of form. And we've talked about how it competes with other equivalents in the market. Now, I've shown you another lighter and shown you how this one's better in many ways than the other lighter. It does not break as easily, it holds more. And, there's other things there as well. But I'm not gonna insult your intelligence by, dumbing it down to such a childish level, that you would think you don't need to explain all of it. All right, so based on the color, I'm gonna give it a slogan, but I also needed to mention that a matchbox or any other source of ignition would compensate for a lighter. So it's non-essential, and the whole purpose of the lighter depends on the cigarette and how it affects flavor and all of that. Now, keeping that in mind, why would you what makes you want a cigarette. Like some people crave for it. Some people, it's as common to some of us as a cup of coffee or a cup of plain tea. It gives some people energy. It makes some people relax. Some people like to have a ciggy on their lunch break. Some people like to have a ciggy outside. Some people like to have it inside. There's different things. But for me, I really thought about, like, when I enjoy a cigarette, and I thought about, like, imagine having a cigarette on the beach or by the poolside, which is why this little summer hut thing is in view, and there's a lot of nature in the background. I'm wearing like pastel colors, which matches some of the colors on this lighter. It's very so let's think of all the joy that we have experienced along with the cigarette, not because of the cigarette, but something that you can associate the cigarette with. So whenever you use a lighter, you will be lighting something up, and that is this. Connecting this to our mood. So the slogan I'm going to give this, basically, is, I like to relax with cigarette. So relax. But I still have a lot of words left, right? So I could just go with relax, but I could also add to it. And I decided to go with relax. Not just your body, but your rules. And at one point I was going to say, relax your rules, you'll live longer as well. I think relax your rules, you'll live longer is a little better than relax not your body but your soul, or not your body but your rules. I think that's deeper, but then the reason I went for the second slogan instead of the first one is because the first one kind of sounds like advice. It's like, you live longer means, like, it's more than just a suggestion, which kind of has an impact and a negative kind of message to the audience. All right, so that's a lot of time that I took, and it was supposed to be a shorter video than this. In the future, I hope to make these shorter, but I think that was a good video. So let me know if I should keep doing this or if I should just drop this and now make a fool of myself, All right.